Hey now, how is everybody doing? Welcome to Red Alert Diaries with Tanya E. Hood. On this podcast, we have conversations that's real talk, marriage, divorce, money, and legacy. And I want you to join me on the journey. I share insights about the various hats that I've worn in my life that have helped me develop a full range of strategies and actionable steps that I've used to help my clients make a strategic impact both personally and professionally, to have better than what life has been giving them. I want this podcast to challenge your thoughts and inspire you to grow. So together, we can operate in excellence. Today, I want to have a conversation since we just came off the heels of Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to all of you that have been celebrated. I'm hoping that you had an amazing weekend. But for those of you that may be kind of like I was in the in-between moments after my divorce, and this may not have been the best weekend for you. You may be in a situation where you're not quite sure, how am I supposed to get through another time period where I really don't have my kids, where I'm not really celebrated, or the loved ones that you used to celebrate, like your mom or grandparents, are no longer here. There's a way to get through this process. And I want you to know that you're not by yourself. You do not have to walk this journey alone. Some of the things that I did right after my divorce was reset my mind about what it really meant for Mother's Day. There will be different events that you have in your life after divorce that you're going to have to reset. How you feel about Mother's Day may be one of those that you have to reset as well. What I often did was discover something new. That very first year after my divorce with Mother's Day, and I couldn't spend it with my babies like I wanted, I decided I would do something different for Tanya. Get to celebrate me, get to do more with me. And I decided to start with basics. What's my favorite color? You can use this holiday weekend to rediscover pieces of who you are. I used it initially to decide if my favorite color was my favorite color. I discovered along the way that yes, I still love teal, but I also like burgundy. I never thought about burgundy, but burgundy is rich. It is so full. It had sort of an essence of life to it, sort of a adulthood moment associated with it, but a regality also that lets me know there is something about this color that lets you feel deep, love hard. And it covered some pieces of me that I had grown into that I had not yet fully discovered when I chose my original color, a teal. Then I still discovered I like them, and these two colors work well together. Discover what your palette is. Pick something small. Is it your color, favorite flower, favorite food? Ooh, I did another discovery on favorite foods I love to eat. So I decided to discover what other foods do I like. Try different things, new food types. I discovered I was okay with Thai food. Hadn't really figured that part out. Oh, and I discovered Korean barbecue. Doesn't quite sound like it should be together in a conversation, but you can find some great places with that in it. So I discovered new things, discovered new places. When you find yourself in a position where maybe the event or the activity is not what it used to be at one point in your world, redefine it. Redefine it first for you. Because if you define it for yourself initially, when you decide to invite others on your journey, and that journey may come to an end, you are not left broken like I was. And you are not left with a situation where some moments of yours can't be reconstructed. Reconstruct them now. Rediscover them now. Find some eventful and fun things and leave those comments for me. You can leave your comments on the various places that this podcast is being shared to let me know, what are you doing? Maybe it'll be something that I can include, possibly next year. Another thing, for those individuals that find themselves in a place where you don't have your babies with you if you're a mama. There were several years that I did not have my children for Mother's Day. Lots of things that happened in between where I couldn't be with the boys. So I decided to write them letters. I wrote out what I feel, what I wanted, what I desired. Some of those letters I put in an envelope to give to them at a later point. Other of those letters, well, they're sealed away because I'm not ready to share them with anybody else. But there were moments in my soul that I had to get out. Sometimes you'll hear me say that you've got to write how you feel, write what you're thinking, write what you want and desire. You've got to get it out of your soul because the body keeps score. If you don't have a place where you can really share that information, just get it out by writing it out. And a lot of you have heard me say, if there's something that you need to write that nobody needs to read, burn it. Yeah, that grill that I bought wasn't for cooking. It was specifically to burn the toxic crap out of my soul. You may need to use that as a resource to support you on your journey. Use what you need, do what you must to make certain that you are healed, to make certain that you are whole. Some of you have heard me talk about the levels of relationship. This may be one of those weekends you have to go and assess the levels of relationship. Where are you? Is it level 1? Where you are whole, those that are closest to you, that confidant that you can speak to, that's directly connected to your being to make certain that you are safe. Is it level 2? You're okay with these individuals. You can have some conversation with them. You know that they're okay to talk to, but you can't share but so much. Or is it level 3? Level 3 is like the public. I will speak to a bum on the street. So if I will say hi to them, I'll say hi to anybody else. And it's okay. But decide the levels of your relationship so that you are whole. I was sharing this before with a few individuals and it dawned on me. Those are my boundary points. You're going to need to put boundary points in place to keep you safe, to keep you whole. And here's the thing about boundaries. A lot of people try to say that if you're setting boundaries, you're restricting yourself. There's no freedom. Do you want to know something about freedom? Freedom does not exist if there are not boundaries put in place to let you know where it can be found. A lot of people say they don't want to be confined, but you still need to put a boundary in place. If there's any level of success that's going to take place on a lot of things that we deal with, there has got to be some boundaries that establish where the things that are good exist and where the things that are bad exist. So, making it real simple. In a game, there are rules to a game. That's how you know who won and who lost. If there were no rules, there would be no boundaries. Then who would win and who would lose? So you see, you can't have freedom without boundaries. Can't have the success you desire if there's not something already laid as a foundation to give you clarity about where it should be. So when you're dealing with relationships, you need to have clarity of the different levels to your relationship. Set the boundaries that you need to keep you whole, to keep you safe, to give you the freedom to love as much as you can in that arena. Because for some of us, if you're anything like me after my divorce, you still wanted to give and to support and to share. But you also recognize some parts of you doing that were taken advantage of because you weren't mindful of how much to give or how much to share to certain individuals until you got your heart broke. Don't wait until you get your heart broke to discover that you need to put a boundary in place that supports you as much as it supports those around you. Here's something else for this weekend. For those of you that may be estranged from your kids, and that's partly a difficult moment, especially for the mothers when you find Mother's Day coming around. Because for a little while, I wasn't with my kids as much as I desired in the way that I desired. So I had to establish a new relationship with new elements about how we can connect. You, as the parent, still have to create the safe landing pad for your babies. Keep them whole, help them be safe along the way, so that as you move forward into new discoveries of your relationship, you got a good landing pad that they can fall back on. And as their mother, you know pieces about them and how much they can still handle. And if you don't, as their mother, take the time to get to know, especially if you're dealing with adults, because I had to reset my mothering and my relationship as a mother with my kids on their adult level. Now we had to see each other from a different capacity, adult to adult. And because I was looking at adult men doing their thing in life, I had to realize that there were parts of me that have to be invited into their world. I cannot just make a decision because I am their mother to ingrade myself inside of their life. I got to see what parts of their life they want to have me connected to and involved in. And those are boundaries that I'm glad that we got the opportunity to establish together. But for some individuals, if you don't have the opportunity to set those boundaries together, you may have to set an initial landing pad and build from there. Because I did have to do that in the beginning. It wasn't always the journey that I find myself in today, but I have found a space and a place where the love that I wanted to receive is a love that I continue to give, and I take it back and receive from them in the manner that supports both of us. And so for today, if you don't remember anything else I've shared, here's the one thing I want you to know. You can find a space or a place to redefine different dates for you. And if Mother's Day is a date that you need to redefine to help you be whole, to help you be safe, to help put you in a position where you can be your best support for those around you, redefine it. Rediscover things that you like, rediscover stuff that you enjoy, rediscover it, redefine it, and make it impactful for you as well as you make it impactful for others. And if you want someone to join you on the journey, feel free to go to my website, TanyaEhood.com. There you can click under the Work With Me tab and see the various ways that we can work with one another. And if you're on Instagram Live, join me at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time so that we can continue the conversation or we can start a new one. In the meantime, this is Tanya E. Hood, walking in my purpose, and I want you to do the same.